Hi BookTube! I'm here with another series of videos that I plan on doing monthly, and it's just going to be talking about my favorite quote from the month, from all the books that I've read. And the goal here is to have me look back at passages that I take and think more about them, and help with my goal to annotate more. The quotes could be chosen for a variety of reasons. It could be important for personal reasons. I feel attached to that quote, or it could be because it's just very beautifully written, or it could be because I like the philosophy or ideas behind it. And I'm going to do my best not to have the quotes contain any spoilers. So for January, the passage I decided to share is from The Dead House Gates by Steven Erikson, which is also one of my favorite reads of the month. I'm just going to frame the quote with the setting and with another quote to help you get an idea of what this is. We're following a group of refugees and warriors as they're being chased down by their attackers. They're trying to get to a safe city, and it's a long journey, and they're constantly being attacked by the people pursuing them. And we're following, at this point, the point of view of a historian named Duiker, whose role is kind of like a war journalist. He's there to witness the events and effects of war. So in this specific scene, the historian Duiker is walking through the part of the camp where the injured and the sick are. And I'm going to use a quote to frame this quote, just to give the idea of the setting here. They left the nobles' encampment and entered the mayhem of the wagons bearing wounded. Voices moaned a constant chorus of pain. A chill crept over Duiker. Even wheeled hospitals carried with them that pervasive atmosphere, the sounds of defiance and the silence of surrender. Mortality's many comforting layers had been stripped away, revealing racked bones, a sudden comprehension of death that throbbed like an exposed nerve. So we kind of get the physical surroundings there, and we also get told that they've just left the nobles' camp. So these very hoity-toity people who are very self-concerned. And here's the quote I wanted to share. Oh, before I share the quote, I'm also going to mention that it mentions ascendants, and here there are kind of like almost godlike people. Yeah. Never mind the game of the ascendants. This is what we are. The endless struggle laid bare. Gone is the idyllic, the deceit of self-import, as well as the false humility of insignificance. Even as we battle holy personal battles, we are unified. This is the place of level earth, corporal. That is its lesson, and I wonder if it is an accident that the deluded mob in gold threads must walk in the wake of these wagons. First of all, I just want to mention the beauty of the language and the alliteration, especially in that last phrase there, walk in the wake of these wagons. That's kind of like mimicking also the rhythm of them walking. Walk in the wake of these wagons. Walk in the wake of these wagons. I just thought that was really, really beautiful. But also the idea that's shared. But firstly, I want to tell you a personal effect that this had in my life. I was having trouble. I was reading The World of Yesterday by Stefan Zweig, and I was having trouble trying to come to terms with how privileged he was in his experience of war and his holding on to ideals. And then I came across this passage in Dead House Gates, and it just made me stop and be like, okay, I'm not going to read The World of Yesterday anymore. I was no longer interested in reading about how privileged he was and how much he held on to ideals that were not practical. And this phrase, he talks in this quote about, gone is the idyllic, the deceit of self-import. They're unified in their struggles, and that was what Stefan Zweig was trying to accomplish, but he was trying to accomplish it as a very privileged artist instead of through actual means that would have actual real life effects. Another reason I want to share it is because it's just a great example of the level of writing in the Malazan series. It is just reading this fantasy and then hopping into some other fantasies that will remain nameless. I'm not talking about The Eye of the World. The Eye of the World is wonderfully written, but other fantasy series, it pales in comparison. I'm like, this book is making other fantasies not as good for me because this one is so good. you know, the series deals with a lot of gory and horrible things, and the writing reflects that, but the writing is also beautiful. And the insights of some of the characters, while others remain ignorant, or the insights that some characters have that aren't good. You know, they're kind of, you know, like, you feel bad for them coming to that conclusion. There's one person who comes to the conclusion that life is worthless, and you know, you see that insight, and it has this whole other layer of characterization that is just so, like, good. So it's not just like the physical sentences are well written, but like everything is well written. I'm really enjoying this series. So yeah, what do you have a favorite quote from your reading this month that you'd like to share? And if so, let's do so in the comments. Thank you for watching.